And we're live.
Hey everyone! Good night, right? Or good evening, sorry. Welcome to Queen's Landing. I'm Melissa, I'm your host, and my co-host is Gabby. And our lovely guest this week is Yasmin again. And we're here to discuss episode 4 of Game of Thrones. And if in case you're a first-time viewer, this is sort of our post-show where we like to kind of discuss and react to the episode and giving you a sort of female perspective. It's usually surrounded more with a male voice surrounding the coverage of this show. So we are big fans of the show. Yasmin has read the books. Me and Gabby have not read the books. We are just straight show watchers. So let's dive right into it, guys. Let's talk about episode 4. Jon and Sansa finally meet!
Finally, a Stark reunion since like season 1, episode 1.
I feel like I'm like cynical because I did not think that I thought that he was gonna leave before she even got there. So when they were like open the gates in the beginning and he was still like getting his stuff ready to go, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna see each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because I mean we had thought that he left.
Yeah.
At the end of last week's episode, but really he just kind of was just like, nah, I'm done, and then he stuck around. So thank God.
Get my stuff first.
Like, I was so cynical about that happening. I was just like, there's no way that they're going to meet. There's no way that they would be that nice to us.
There's no way. Because Game of Thrones loves to just disappoint you and, like, break your hearts before they make you, like, a little bit happy. But we're in episode 4 only. You guys, I feel like I'm watching a different show. We're in episode 4 only, and we've seen the Stark reunion finally that we've all been praying for, and other big things happen in this episode. So I'm really happy. I personally prefer it than last week's, and we were discussing this a little bit before the show. I really loved the actors who played Jon and Sansa, Sophie and Kit. I think the performance was really great because we never got to see those characters together really, and Sansa had always kind of referred to him as our half-brother, kind of putting him down sort of because she wanted to seem proper, and she was a different person back then. So seeing them lay eyes on each other for the first time and since episode 1, it got me in my feelings. I'm not going to lie. Like I started to feel emotional because you feel like you've been on this journey with these characters, and it's like finally somebody that I love and that I know, and that's my family. So I really love that moment.
And just seeing that... just seeing like their faces when they first saw each other and that big like embrace, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is what we've been needing.
I started screaming. I was screaming. I was like,
I know, me too, because I was not expecting it. I was just like,
neither.
Wait, is this really happening? And then it did. And I kind of loved how awkward they were later. I mean, they were just kind of like, well, yeah. How's it going?
Just like, admit, I've been pretty awful to you. And it's like, yeah you were.
Like, yeah. But I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah. It's all in the past.
Right. And then I just really like that, I mean, at the end, she was so assertive, like, we need to save Rickon, and she was the one to push him to do it because he was kind of like...
No, he's being so cynical. I mean, I understand him because he's tried to do the right thing, but then he got killed for it. So he's like, no, I'm done. But she's been through some shit too, though, and she is still hell-bent on getting her home back, getting the family back together, and I really love seeing Sansa step up. I feel like we've been waiting 6 seasons to see finally this side of her wanting to avenge her family, and I'm so excited to see this war go down. The Bastard Bowl is going to happen, guys.
That's
so excited.
No, and it just... With all that influence that Sansa is giving onto Jon, like, do you think Jon is gonna get the Night's Watch to fight for him? A very like neutral area?
That's what I was thinking, because they are outnumbered even with the wildlings. I think that he does have a couple of brothers that are loyal to him and that do trust him. So I think that he's going to get some of his brothers to fight, but I also think that he's going to have to get some of the northern houses to fight along too. So maybe going back to where their mom's from, the Riverlands, I believe. So a couple of other northern houses that haven't already defected to the Boltons.
Well, now, I mean, Littlefinger's on his way to see Sansa, so that's and I think it's
Mhm.
going to be an alliance. I mean,
I,
I don't know
I don't
what
know what Little
I
Finger
don't
wants.
know. I don't
I don't
know,
know what he wants.
because in the preview for next week, she's like, "Did you know about Ramsay?" I'm
Yeah,
like,
and he's like,
I don't
he
know.
did. He totally knew, but it was a play. I mean,
Yeah,
what his end game is, I don't know.
whoever wins,
No.
that's his end game. I don't know. The
But
game is so unpredictable. I feel like he knew that he was taking a risk, but no, but like I feel like he knew what Ramsey was, but he knew that they weren't going to kill her since she was a woman, and they needed a woman Stark to kind of, you know, so that they're able to have sex and then have an heir. So she was gonna stay alive in that sense, but Ramsey, of course, Ramsey is Ramsey, and I hope she kind of makes him pay for that a little bit, though, because since last season, I was not down with Peter Baelish leaving her with the Boltons, especially with Ramsey, who's freaking
Yeah.
psycho.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like he knew this all would happen. I think he knew that Sansa was gonna try to go to the wall and had this whole like plan like that. Like I feel like he had like years of this planned ahead of time. Was it the right way to go? Hell no, it was not. But it's like he has this end game in his head. He's always 5 steps ahead of everybody, I feel.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, he totally played that, kid,
Hmm.
and that kid's right into his hands, and now it's like, I mean, again, it's just like he's so unpredictable, and I guess that what makes him so much fun to watch, because I was like really happy that, the previews reminded us of him, and I'm like, oh my God, Littlefinger, like, what the hell has he been up to? That sneaky son of a bitch, like,
yeah,
so yeah,
He's
I
just like
definitely,
so suave. It's just you can't help but be like, yeah, I agree with you. I'll go with you anywhere you go.
right,
yeah. And he's also like a fascinating character because you don't know what he's gonna do next. He's unpredictable.
yeah, exactly, and I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what his game plan is, but I really hope that Sansa stands firm in her position and doesn't let him try to manipulate her anymore. Because
No.
I mean, I hope at this point she's learned her lesson.
I
Yeah, I
really
mean
think she has.
she's spent enough time and enough time around awful people to hopefully pick up on, like let's just be a little bit more strategic and learn to play the game and be manipulative yourself. Don't.
Yeah.
I just hope she doesn't let him get too close.
Oh, what did you guys think about like the new conflict that's going to rise between Brienne and Melisandre? Because
Oh my god, I loved that. It
it was so
was
great.
such a burn. I was just like, go girl, you got it.
It's like right after I executed him, and it was like,
Like,
okay.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think I don't know if that was just kind of like supposed to be comedic, but I mean, they're all gonna have to work together because they're all gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be like one of those just like, like I hate you, but I'm gonna work with you anyway because it's for what's best. Because like I don't think it like Melisandre's gonna pull anything weird, like especially now since like Jon Snow gets the chosen one. So I think they're just gonna begrudgingly like work together.
I think yeah, she's gonna have to do something. I mean, I think Davos is gonna be the mediator there. It'll be fun though.
Yeah,
It'll be fun to watch. That's for sure.
yeah. I also love just that's that like awkward tension between Tormund and Brienne. Looks like Tormund has like a thing for Brienne.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
so funny. Like that dinner right before he got that letter, I was
yeah,
like cracking up because he was just like looking at her, like eating
yeah.
that chicken leg or whatever, and she's just like, I
Oh,
really
it's
hope they bring that up again because I think that will be just. I mean, it's just Game of Thrones is great in its lighter moments.
yeah. I was like, I will definitely ship that if that is a possibility. It's like I never
Uh,
even thought of that because everyone was putting like Brienne and Jaime together that no one even thought of. Just like, oh, if she did have a love interest, it would be someone completely different. And I think if he did have one, then Tormund would just be awesome. A great choice.
yeah, yeah, I think so too, and I mean, because he seems like a more of a sincere kind of person, so. I mean, well, as much as he can be, like, I think his feelings for her are legitimate. So,
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe not exactly like chivalric, but
No.
I
But
think. I'm sorry. Go on.
I know, I was just like, if anything, like Brienne would put him in his place,
Right.
unlike anyone else, because anyone except Jon is like scared of him. But I think Brienne is definitely going to show him, like just like show him up a bit.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think there's like so many opportunities for this to kind of be like both intense, like as far as all these guys going on a journey together to take the North back, and you know, it's good intensity and lightness into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so Ramsay Bolton seems to have killed off another minor character that we've known and loved.
Yeah. Poor Osha.
Osha.
I was like, I mean, I was thinking it would have been too good if she killed him at that moment. Like,
oh, I knew she was not going to. There's no way.
yeah, I was like this. I'm like, I don't think it's. I think she's gonna die now. I just know he's.
Just like, oh my gosh. It was like, okay, we kind of get at this point. He is an asshole and he kills people. I feel like at this point he's getting a little too one-dimensional. Like for me, like at this point. And it's just like, okay, we get it. He kills people and he's crazy. Right. So let's move on to something else. But yeah.
I'm just kind of really tired of him.
You know? Yeah.
And I think, you know, I hope they fast track to Sansa or whoever getting to Winterfell and just destroying him.
I know.
Because I just like every episode we have to watch him like torture or kill another person. It's just driving me nuts. Like
I know.
I mean, I was gonna ask you because you've read the books, but they always refer to as Rickon as the Wild One, and I don't quite understand why.
Probably because he was with the Wildling for so long.
Really?
I'm guessing so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know much either,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a reference to the book or whatever, but I mean, yeah, I just always like, oh, he's the wild one. So I'm like, okay, is there something that?
I'm guessing because he was with the Wildling and he was accustomed to a lot of the Wildling like culture, just being with Osha for so long.
Right.
Because he's not. I guess someone wouldn't consider him royal like after that because he's been with someone who they really look down upon. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And again, I'm kind of curious to see. I mean, I've read like this insane fan theory that was on Reddit originally. I don't know if you've seen it, where it's basically saying like how the Umbers are actually, it's like part of a strategy to.
Yeah, yeah, I wanted to talk about that because in the books, the Umbers are like the most loyal house. And especially since, I don't know if you remember from past seasons, like Rob earned the Umbers' trust by like getting his direwolf to like eat his fingers or like, you know, like maim his hands. So they are very loyal to him. And, you know, and the Umber is the one who coined, you know, the King of the North, the King of the North. So I honestly think that this is a strategy. I thought having Osha come in there was a strategy too. At least I'm praying. I hope that's not his dire wolf. I hope that's just a regular wolf.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like notice if it was a lot like, you know, smaller because like the one part of the theory was that it was a lot smaller or whatever. But
it was.
But yeah, I mean, again, I guess I don't know.
Can you see me?
Yeah, hey Melissa, welcome back.
I'm so sorry. My internet's acting crazy, and I thought it was all of us, but it's just me. That's so embarrassing. Sorry.
No worries. No, we were in the middle of that theory that I tweeted you about the Umbers. Actually, this is part of their plan to, kind of.
So, do you guys believe in that theory? I feel like it's way too optimistic because this is.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could see it being optimistic, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for optimism when it comes to this show.
I just don't believe Penny is in there.
I'm afraid that he's gonna, that Ramsay is gonna flay Rickon. and that's the first thing that we're gonna see when Jon and Sansa and the army go down to Winterfell. So I'm kind of worried about him, the little Stark.
Well, I think if Ramsay knows what's good for him, and if he wants his bride back, he would at least have Rickon safe until then. So, like, Jon would be like, okay, let me see my brother. So, I don't think he would kill him before then.
Yeah, I don't think he'll kill him, but I do think he's gonna mess with him.
Oh, probably.
It is Ramsay, and yeah I'm kind of curious because I mean we don't really know Rickon. I mean we've only remember him as a kid, so I'm kind of curious to see how he acts in the face of that.
Yeah.
Oh, poor kid. And but I am really excited for more Starks getting together. I think once they're all united, it's gonna be like an Avengers moment where like the camera pans to all of them, and it's like, yeah, we're here.
And if they have like Arya the assassin with them too, that is definitely gonna be a picturesque moment.
Yeah.
If that could just be like the series finale, I would be okay with that.
Honestly, me too, because at that point you would just feel so assured. Okay, they're together, they're gonna kick ass, and they're gonna win this thing. But yeah, like I am. That's what like my dream Game of Thrones scenario is.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, speaking of epic moments, though, Daenerys there at the end.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh my God, Melissa, you're like fading out.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you, but you sound like robotic.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh dear. Yeah, can you hear me?
Now,
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's try this again. I thought it was an awesome moment.
No, you don't have a video, but we could hear you clearly, so that works.
Okay. I thought it was an awesome moment. So I feel like at first I didn't predict that she would kill all of the calls. I thought that she would get the older women to kind of convince them, but this was so much more awesome and epic, and it made sense. So I'm kind of happy that it happened. I don't want to hear.
Wait, what was that? I missed you at the end.
I said I'm so tired of everybody talking crap about Khaleesi. Now they can't talk about it. They can't, because you know what? She did that on her own with no two guys saving her. She was like, wait, I have bigger plans. Y'all need to wait. And then no dragon came and saved her. She thought about it. She was strategic about it the way she has been in the past. She got herself out of there. And now they're all going to follow her, because now she's like, because the Dothraki only follow the strong. They saw this bitch walk out the fire, and what is stronger than being fireproof? You know? So now they're going to follow her. So I'm very, very proud. I'm very excited to see where this is going to go.
But that also happened, too, at the end of season 1. And I kind of feel like it kind of just, like mirrored the whole thing again. So I'm just like, is she back in a full circle, like with the Dothraki people again? I'm just wondering if she's going backwards now, more like forwards.
Well, I feel like now she's going to... I feel like now they're going to follow her wherever she goes, and now the people who are behind her and her army are only going to get bigger. So I think this is a pro more so than a con.
Yeah, I agree there. I didn't think of it as her going back, but I mean, that is kind of a good point. I mean, again, but I think she's learning, and I do feel like that was really strategic, because I wasn't expecting her to do that.
Me neither. I did not see that coming, because I forget sometimes that she's fireproof. Like she is there, Stormborn, the unburned. So I didn't think she was gonna do that.
I think it was like a great moment. I mean, yeah, because it reminded us. Because when she touched the fire, I'm like, oh yeah, you could do that. I almost forgot. But yeah, I mean, and then I was like, oh shit. I'm like, no, that's not a bad idea then. Because I had a feeling she had. I mean, because when she walked in and said she was gonna rule them, I was like, okay, she has a plan to kill them somehow. I knew she was gonna kill them, but I just didn't. I thought maybe she kind of convinced all the Dosh Kaleens to, like, come in and, like, murder them or something.
Yeah.
But no, instead she just set them on fire. I really want a gif of her throwing the last fire at that one guy, and he's like, oh.
I know.
It was an awesome moment, especially like right after he was like, well, I'm gonna rape you, and then my men are gonna rape you, and then maybe my horses will as well. So that was like extra. It was like a cherry on the freaking cake, on the milkshake, whatever you want to call it. But it was
Right.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So now with the Rocky on her side, I mean, now where is she gonna? She's gonna head back to Marine, I suppose, right?
Yeah, because her other people are there, and she needs to get them. And then, so what do you guys think about the whole alliance? I mean, I'm not sure if you already talked about this because I kind of went away.
We haven't.
With the deal that Tyrion made with the Wise Masters, do you think that the Wise Masters are gonna pull through, or are they gonna go ahead and do another conspiracy?
I feel like Tyrion is being very careful with them right now. I feel like he's kind of playing them too in a way, because he like he's a Lannister. They're good at playing people. He's good at playing people. So, he used the whole like you'll have slavery for 7 years and then you gotta be done. But I think he's gonna find a way to like either kill them all off or like do something else.
Yeah.
Probably with the dragon.
Oh yeah. When he said the whole 7 years thing, I thought that was a good compromise, because I feel like at this point it's like a lost cause with Dany trying to make slavery go away just like that, because obviously that has not worked out, and a lot of people have had to die. I mean, she lost Sir Barristan Selmy. I really liked him. Yeah. And I feel like this was a good compromise. I mean, this is what he's here for. He's smart. He's a good talker. He knows how to. He's very charismatic. He knows how to play people. So, but I understand Grey Worm and Missandei's fear that the Wise Masters are not going to go by what he's saying, and that they might, overthrow you again, and they're not gonna take this deal. So I'm kind of worried about that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like that whole thing is gonna end up in disaster. I just feel like nothing's gonna work there.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something she's gonna abandon again, and then it's just later on gonna really hit her back hard when she's about to do the biggest thing, like hit Westeros or whatever.
Yeah.
She'll never get to Westeros.
Yeah, I mean, really.
She'll never get there.
I don't even know how the maps look for Game of Thrones world or whatever, but like, how far is she?
She's pretty far.
She's across the Narrow Sea, right? Or is it the Shivering Sea?
Narrow
Sea, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a narrow sea.
She still has to get. Well, I feel like she probably will steal the Wise Masters' ships, probably. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what other choice does she have?
Yeah, I think at this point.
Give me 1 second, because I'm on my phone, so I'm going to try to switch to my laptop again. Give me one moment. This is a fun show, guys. Technical difficulties are happening. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 moment.
Well, I think we can kind of go in a little bit to how to what happens in King's Landing, which isn't really much. I mean, besides the fact that the Tyrells are going to send an army to kick the High Sparrows' butt.
Yeah, no, I'm liking this alliance between like Cersei and the Tyrells like right now, because really those High Sparrows are just getting really annoying.
I have a question about that. So they were all like, well, we agreed to do that walk of shame as well, and I thought that Cersei would want that since she kind of hates her. So if somebody wants to explain to my tiny little brain why that was a thing that they were actually agreeing on.
Because she really wants Tommen's trust. She really wants Tommen on her side instead of being manipulated by the High Sparrow. And Tommen wants Marjorie to be safe. Like, that's the only reason he's not acting against the High Sparrow, is because the High Sparrow has threatened her safety and Loras' safety. So Cersei's pretty much like, let's go save her so we don't have to deal with this anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I think she knows that the way to be on Tommen's side is through Marjorie. And I think it's better to risk the Tyrell's army to take down the Sparrows than it is for the Lannister army. So it's kind of like the best case scenario for them.
It really
Yeah.
is. It's going to be like Brienne and Melisandre, like, Olenna and Cersei hate each other,
Right.
but they're going to work together because they both want the High Sparrow. They have a common want in this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Common enemy. So, and yeah, I'm so sick of the Sparrow. Like, I was just like, we need that long ass scene. I'm like, oh god.
I don't know. Like, I kind of wanted to see them overthrow the kingdom. I'm thinking I don't know. Like, I can't stand the Lannisters so much that I kind of want to see the Sparrows in action. I guess that's just me. I don't know.
I think the Lannisters are bad, but I kind of like watching them.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm intrigued by their awfulness, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe Tyrion was always a main reason for that. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious to see how they stop their little empire from falling down.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's not even going to work. Like, I'm thinking the Sparrow will know, they'll have some friends, and it'll all just fail, like everything else does.
Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling, because, like, the Hand of the King is the uncle whose son is one of the followers. I have a feeling he's going to try to tip off his son so his son doesn't get killed, and then his son's not going to, like, give a shit because he's going to be telling the High Sparrow.
Oh, I hope not. Because Kevin Lannister is so awesome and kick-ass, like, in the books. I know he would do that for his son, but it would make me so mad if he did.
He doesn't seem that way in the show. I mean, because I don't remember ever seeing that character until before the season, unless I'm, like, spacing out.
I don't really remember either.
I think
he wasn't, like, a main...
Yeah, he made a few small appearances, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think it's time to move to our segments.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, segment time. So in our segments on Queen's Landing, we kind of go through different scenes or characters that we liked, and we're going to start out with our Reek of the Week. Our Reek of the Week is somebody that we choose that we think kind of sucked this episode, or somebody that we disagree with. Not that we want to kill just yet, but somebody that just disappointed us. Okay. So my Reek of the Week is, I wrote it down. What did I write down? Oh, the Wise Masters. Because Missandei and Grey Worm's deep distrust of this deal is making me distrust this deal too. It's causing doubt in my mind, and I feel like they're not going to go ahead for this 7-year deal, and they're going to try to continue overthrowing Daenerys and her kingdom. So I'm worried about that. And I'm kind of sick of the whole Wise Masters storyline. I really want to see Daenerys steal some ships and sail across this narrow sea already, because I think it's time.
Yeah.
So the Wise Masters are my Week of the Week.
Yeah, my Week of the Week would be... you know what? I keep changing my mind about this, but probably Littlefinger, because I just was reminded of all the shit he did last season, and
Yeah.
I hope he's on that path to redemption right now, when he says he's gonna go see Sansa at the Wall. So we'll see, but as much as I am intrigued by him, at the same rate, I'm still very annoyed. So he is my Reek of the Week.
Good choice. I like that.
Yeah. My Reek of the Week was Yara Greyjoy. Just because when Theon finally came to, like, he finally made it back to Pike, after being tortured and whatnot, like, Yara just really started giving him shit. It's just like, we tried to save you. I had good men like die for you, and she was just like really just putting it down on him, and he's just like, I'm broken. He tore me down. She's like, yeah, I know, but like whatever. And it's it was just really sad.
I agree with that. I mean, she's not a great sister. When she said that she tried to save him, I feel like she didn't really try. I mean, when she tried to save him, she saw that like he wasn't himself because, let's think about it, he's traumatized. He could have tried harder. She didn't like really try, in my opinion. So, yeah, I agree with that Week of the Week.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. But I think by the end of that scene though, she kind of saw, okay, well he's on my side, so MBD, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like she really went that way when he's just like, you should be queen of the Iron Island. She's like, oh, all right, okay,
Sure.
I forgive you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so moving on to our next segment. Our next segment is the lady or Lord Commander of this episode, and this usually just goes down like this. One by one, we're going to go ahead and tell you who is the MVP of this episode, who we feel owned it, who had an amazing moment, and that is the lady or Lord Commander of this episode. And for me, my lady commander of this episode is Sansa Stark. I feel like her entire storyline since she was betrothed to a psychopath in season 1 and then kind of shuffled around and being this pawn in everybody else's game, we've been waiting for this moment. You know, she's been through some shit with Ramsay herself. You know, Jon Snow came back from the dead and he's very upset. He's very pressed about being killed by his brothers and he just wants to give up. But she's like, no. We have our home. We have our siblings. That is our home. We need to gather an army. We need to do whatever we need to do to reclaim what is ours. She's like the Queen of the North, basically, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see this new side of her. We've been waiting forever to see the side of Sansa Stark, and I've always believed in her. I always feel like we were going to see the side of her. She is my lady commander of this episode. Alrighty? Gabby, who is yours?
Mine is Daenerys, for obvious reasons. She rose from the flames. She killed all the cows. I don't know. She was just really kick-ass. I mean, for a while I was kind of like, I wasn't really big on Daenerys. And I mean, I still have my issues with her, but I don't know. Such an epic moment for her character. And a good reminder of who she is and what she can do. So she is my lady commander of the week.
Same
Awesome.
here.
And Yasmin?
Same here. I love Daenerys. You know, like you, I did have like some problems with her. I found her segments rather boring at times, but seeing her just come out like from the flames again, like we hadn't seen that in a while. Like we're kind of like, oh, like when's she gonna have that big moment again? You know, like we've just seen her kind of like just yell at people, really, but we never really get to see her have that huge moment. So I think this is a great indicator that she is still strong. You know, like deep down, she can still rule.
Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly.
Great picks. I agree. I love me some Daenerys. And our next segment is our Swing the Sword. Our Swing the Sword segment is the segment in which we name the characters that we want to swing our swords at, characters that we kind of hated this episode, characters we wish to die, and we actually named our swords. And my sword's name is Dawn, and I would use my sword to swing it at Ramsay. I'm over him. I'm sick of him. I feel like he's over my house. Like, Winterfell is where I live at, and I'm just really mad he's overstayed his welcome. I'm just really attached to the Starks and Winterfell, and I'm so over him, and he killed Osha. I'm very sad that she died early on. We didn't really get to see her interact with Rickon, like, one last time. I was pissed off. I mean, I saw it coming that he was going to kill her, but I was still upset that he did it. It's just one more thing I hate about him, that he's just makes me hate more and more about him. So I would swing Dawn at Ramsay.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Ramsay, but I'm deciding to go with the High Sparrow. Just because I can't really stand him anymore, and I was just like, ugh, because I felt really bad for Marjorie and Loras. I feel like out of everyone who's been affected by this, they're kind of the most innocent, and
Yeah.
so
Especially
that,
Loras.
yeah, so that scene between them in the dungeon and her trying to like convince him to stay strong, like, you know, it really kind of got to me a little bit emotionally. So I felt for them, and yeah, my sword's name is Jeremiah, and I would swing it at the High Sparrow.
Awesome. Yasmin?
So I wonder why we even call this segment Swing Your Sword. I think we should just call it Reasons Why Ramsay Disappointed Us This Week. Reasons why. Yeah, because my sword name is Ballbuster, and I am swinging it on Ramsay Bolton.
Yes.
Because really, I'm done. He's really one-dimensional. He just keeps killing people. It's like we kind of get it now at this point.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, and our next segment is a green site segment. This segment is where we kind of predict where the storyline is going to go down for a certain character. And yeah, does anybody have some green site? I think I already kind of touched on mine, thinking that Daenerys is going to take the Dothraki along with her to Meereen and devise some kind of a plan, and then hopefully get some ships and then make their journey starting out to go to Westeros. Because, as I said, I'm just ready to see that storyline start already. How about you, Gabby?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anything like in particular besides the fact that I mean, I'm curious to see what Littlefinger is gonna do, and again, I hope it's something to redeem what he did to Sansa. So I'm curious to see how that pans out next week. But I don't know, and I have an actual theory besides, like, you know, us talking about the Umbers earlier, and I'm hoping, my optimism is hoping that they are planning some kind of plan against Ramsay to take down the Boltons for good. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, for me, like, I am really interested in what Littlefinger said, like, you know, let's talk to the Freys, because we haven't seen the Freys since the Red Wedding. And last time that I checked, they still have Catelyn's brother, you know, Edmure Tully, the Blackfish. So it'll be really interesting if we actually get to see him again, if he will actually be taking part in fighting for Winterfell, or if he's still a prisoner. So
yeah, I didn't. Okay, so when he said the Frey thing, I wasn't sure if he meant the phrase or like, let's go into the fray, like, you know, like that saying. Because I feel like, why would the Freys help Sansa if they help murder her brother and mother?
I have a feeling that like Littlefinger's either not going to mention her, or he's going to have like something really in it for them.
Like, I want to see the Freys die. I don't want them helping Sansa.
Wasn't one of Frey's daughters the one that married Roose Bolton that Ramsay killed?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, totally forgot about that.
Maybe he's upset about it. I mean, I don't think he's that kind of person.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, Ramsay had his hounds kill one of his daughters. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if he like was all for killing Robb Stark because he, you know, broke the promise of marrying one of his daughters, I would think he would want to go after the Boltons who murdered his other daughter.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
So
it's true, man. All this betrayal is making my head spin. I forgot that Walder Frey is gonna be pissed off about his dead daughter and grandchild. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's a good point, like, because, you know, Ramsay doesn't strategize at all, and he probably did not even consider the fact that the Freys would be upset over that. So, that I think is going to work against him, and I guess Littlefinger knew that right away, and he wants to be the first one there, you know?
Oh my God, I cannot wait to see how this goes down. What? I can't. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, because I forgot that, like, he's going to be mad about that.
I literally just thought of it right now. I was
like, that's a good idea. That's just funny. Oh my gosh.
It's like an actual light bulb moment. Oh my God. All right. Well.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us at Queen's Landing. Please forgive us on the technical difficulties. Sometimes they just happen. Follow us at our page at TYF Official. Follow me and Gabby on Twitter, and make sure if you watch this and you like this, that you forgive our technical difficulties, and that you like the video and that you share it with your friends on Twitter or Facebook, and also write your comments, write us your theories, give us some helpful tips, what you want us to talk about, and yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and a question to leave the viewers, where do you think Daenerys is going to do now? Sorry, I can't speak. Where do you think she's going to go now? What is she going to do? What is Sansa and Jon going to do? Are they going to get the wildlings and the Night's Watch to work together? Are they going to go to the northern houses, really? What's going to happen? Let us know. Drop the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. And join us next week for Game of Thrones. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Woo!